Yeah, you should pause the game right here.
Okay.
Okay, so what's gonna happen next?
I guess next, I wasn't paying attention to Rex. I think they were fighting mid.
Yeah, so they
But
were
I
fighting
should be
mid,
expecting a gank fairly soon here.
but right around the 330 mark, Rek'Sai like showed mid lane walking towards bot.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So it was on the mini map. So, but like it doesn't matter. Like even if you don't see it, you should know that that's happening. So at this point, you're really low health. Vel'Koz is low mana. Yeah, that Senna looks fucking juicy, but like
Yeah.
I definitely feel like Rek'Sai can just tunnel through and kill you. You don't have enough information to do it. So if I were you, I would just shove this wave and reset. I think that's the smartest play, right?
Okay.
But because then you just end up taking this awkward trade and dying. I mean, then you actually confirm Rek'Sai right there again because your jungler's on him.
Oh. Okay, I was really greedy for this.
Yeah, and that trade was just a mess. I mean, in general, like I said, since you didn't know for sure if like, I mean, there's no way to predict that Kane's gonna like be on that Rek'Sai's like dong, right? I think it's just way better to just shove that last wave and then just, you know, take the reset. Your wave would be in a good spot too, so you're fine, but
yeah.
And then I wanted to go to around 6 minutes. It's like right when, yeah, just go like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, you see you have your jungle bot and mid has prio. I mean, yeah, and he's pinging dragon. You need to be shoving in the wave right here. But you're kind of holding the freeze, which in most cases that'd be good, but because you know he wants dragon, like I think you need to shove. Because you're basically just handing the enemy bot lane prio for this, right? Like, and then the Ziggs like recalls, so that dragon's just like really fucking troll at this point. But yeah, and then even I guess collapsing up on this seems super bad too, right? Because like nothing's gonna happen here. The Kane's low as fuck. Like, you just need to.
I was kind of thinking I could hold this freeze. Maybe if necessary, move to Drake. I was like, okay. Maybe they don't see Kane doing this, but I thought it was pretty hopeless. I guess I should have maybe kept the freeze, because I couldn't move fast enough and just help him.
The fact that Ziggs was there means, like, I think the Ziggs sticks around if you hard shove your wave. But because you didn't, then that Ziggs is just like, yeah, I'm eating the fuck out of here. That was really good.
Oh, and then...
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah.
Like, I know it's gonna happen, but I didn't expect it to be so sudden, you know?
Yeah.
He literally walks up to me and just kills me, just that easy.
Yeah, I mean, I did put down on my timestamp around, like, at 7 minutes, you knew Rek'Sai was bot, right?
Yeah.
Because we literally just saw him, like, a second ago. So that was one of those things where you needed to take like the immediately trade on the kill because that dude like ran it down into you, right? But after that, you had to just like bounce the fuck out, and that's something you just need to be thinking about like consciously in your head, like that Rek'Sai is definitely going to be coming to that play. So like pursuing any further is like fucked because now your wave is just cucked too.
I mean, it would have been cocked anyway if Rek'Sai just stood here. Because we would have to shove this wave in. Would have been pretty difficult either way. And Kane was, I think, top side. I don't know.
Oh yeah, hold on, go back like a second. I have it at 8 minutes. Sorry.
8 minutes, okay.
Yeah, just this ward right there. That ward you placed. That ward is some fucking ass. Okay, so like, in general, if you want to pause real quick.
Yep.
And then move your camera up, like, towards where the dragon is. If you're gonna ward river, just ward, like, right in between the entrance to the dragon pit and the... yeah, right there. Right? Yeah, right there. That gives you way more information, because if you put that ward where you put it, that literally tells you absolutely fucking nothing. And even if the jungler manages to get there, like, let's say Rek'Sai hops the wall into that brush, you're probably fucking dead anyway. Like, even if you see it, you're gonna be dead, right? Like, you need the information way before, and you can use your waves to, like, get that ward. Like, you shove one wave in, and that ward's super fucking free, right? That's way more optimal vision for you. And then if you want to, like, get even better vision for yourself, then, like, go over, like, where the blue buff is.
Okay.
Just warding over that wall is like super efficient, and you're capable of doing that. But the only way I would recommend doing that is stacking 2 waves, and then like letting them crash, and then putting it up there, like right in between the blue and the gromp. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Because that gives you way more vital information. And then I think this next gank would be is like semi difficult to predict because Rek'Sai technically yeah, go ahead and play. Okay. Rek'Sai technically should be pathing top, but like I said, once he showed coming from like behind you, he did.
Oh yeah. I wasn't expecting this in the slightest.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. To be so that was just like a good play on Rek'Sai, but that also means the map's like 100% split from this point on, right? And you can confirm this because after Kayn takes Herald, he immediately passed into his top side, right?
Sorry, who? Kayn?
After Kayn takes Herald, he immediately passed into his top side. So you know the map is split, which is why I put like at 9 minutes, like you can walk back in and kind of like immediately die to another gank. But that's just like, it should be super obvious to you at that point, like map split, right? Kayn's in his top side jungle. There's no way Rek'Sai's in your top side jungle.
Yeah. So they probably like want to dive here is what you're saying?
Yeah.
They have information on Kayn?
Yeah. I'm just saying you should utilize the information of like the jungle to know like if you're gonna like, you know, where their jungle is, because like basically you just immediately die to another gank. Like you started playing aggressive again, but it was like it should be obvious like the Rek'Sai bot side still.
Yeah. Yeah, I just shouldn't be playing this aggressively. No reason to. Like this is already bad.
Yeah, and then yeah, especially here because
I don't even know why I'm walking up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that was pretty bad. I had 1150. There's my next time, Sam.
Okay. 50?
Yeah, 1150. Oh yeah, it was just this. I was saying you shouldn't just like hard shove because, like I said, we knew he was playing bot side still.
Yeah.
So like, once you got the wave going, you needed to back way the fuck up. I mean, your team came to collapse, which was okay, but
like usually this war, then like this gives me enough reaction to just back off, and most of the times the jungler can't really kill me because I get to a comfortable position, but I guess it's just not the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this ward is not useful.
No, I think that like that ward is definitely like fucking terrible. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I tell everyone that never ward that brush. If you're gonna ward it, at least put it way up further in the pixel, right? Like at the edge of the bush. But you put it like in the middle of the brush. Like what the fuck is that gonna do, right? Like
I mean the reason why I put it here is because a lot of junglers come, you know, just blast cone and gank.
Yeah.
And then I can kind of see, and I'm not sure if I put it in the river I can still see them jumping into the brush.
You should still be able to if you put it up there, like in between like that entrance, like in the middle of the river, you should still be able to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is actually kind of a habit I need to get out of, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just slow reaction.
This was just really bad because you didn't have the waves.
You don't even have a wave here, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. I mean, I can't really fault you. It was like your team making this like shitty play. Vel'Koz ran through tower, you know, circus music starts.
I mean, if I knew they're gonna hard commit like this, I guess I should have joined them.
Nah.
But turning the camera there, it's like, I don't even know why I should be looking at this, you know?
I think you should have based the decision on your wave. You looked at your wave, it wasn't fat enough, I would have just been pinging them the fuck out of there, right? Like, they didn't have to fucking extend for that. That's something I think would be, it's pretty out of your control, but you could have at least tried to ping and see, like, because I just don't see any way that play works. Next thing was like 16 minutes. You had like this weird lull where you're like in mid, but then you started like pathing bot for no reason.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw top lane getting fucked, and I was like, okay, let's make a play bot maybe. Anivia is probably alone.
Yeah.
But then I saw, okay, there's no way we can kill this guy. Then I ran back to mid. I mean, otherwise I would have probably taken chickens, but they are not up.
Yeah, they were not up. Yeah, I guess you really didn't have anything to do there. I just wanted to double check that, but I think at 17 minutes you had a better option. It's like, yeah. So you see this like top play. There's that play that happens top, right? They're in control of the top lane, right? You start shoving mid, but you see them like trying to hard force like this shitty awkward play top, right? The enemy team.
Like
you
I should have
just
gone for fucking Drake or something.
No, you should just hard shove this midway. Like keep shoving. Like look, everybody's top.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a fucking party going on, and like you're not gonna get there in time. There's no fucking way.
Like I didn't want to go for this. Yeah, I should have just kept
that's like fucking inhib right there if you shove. Like look how long this fucking goes on.
Yeah.
And you being there literally doesn't change the duration of this play.
Yep. It's just really strong.
Yeah. And then yeah, it ends up fucking like I don't know. It's like such an awkward
completely different game if I just push down mid, I think, because they get 2 kills or 3 for 1, but we get the turret and
Well, I mean, they like might not even get the kills. Like you walking up might have baited your team into like extending that like longer than it should have gone, right? They could have just like beeline the fuck out. So like that's
maybe
something to think
after,
about. Yeah.
Maybe after I could have gotten Drake alone.
Yeah, exactly. If they start walking towards you, then yeah, you could just like solo the Drake or do whatever. But that just put like your team in like such an awkward spot again. Like now you're just like, I don't know, it's so bad. And then I typed something down. I put a timestamp at 20 minutes, but I didn't put a note for it, so I'm not sure what it is, but we'll find out. Okay, so you just got...
Also here, I was waiting for an item.
Oh, yeah.
Like 150.
Yeah, see, okay, yeah, that was my note. Okay, I actually think you should just go back, reset by the component, and maybe like a pink, and like I would just take the base. Because like look at the rest of your team. The rest of your team's resetting. So like you still have like 1,000 gold to spend. That's still like pretty big difference in damage, right?
Yeah.
So even if you can't complete the item, I think it's still worth, because like what's your next play? Like what's your team's next play?
Well, honestly, I don't fucking know.
Okay,
like
so
I had no fear for this game whatsoever.
No, okay, it's fine. It's really easy to work out. Just pause the game right here.
Okay.
So like you just took Dragon. You had full control of that, right? So Baron's alive. Most of their like inners are down. So like what are the only 2 objectives your team could play for? Realistically.
I mean, realistically, I don't think we can take this Baron because I don't have enough damage. But honestly, I have no idea. Like, I think we should just keep splitting, get wards, and that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, so Kayle should definitely continue splitting. That's all fine. But what you really should be doing at this state of the game is, since Baron's the only like objective you can take, basically Kayle's playing for that bot lane tower or for like to draw pressure, and your team should be playing for this Baron. So see, like you taking that reset now, your team is all hovering Baron. Essentially, they're waiting for someone to pressure the Kayle, and then you guys should just be starting it. You're low damage, but the rest of your team isn't. You 4 can take this Baron, right? And you can easily do it using a trap line, right? Like use your trap line. It like you can stall it out. If anything, it like guarantees that their team can't fuck around with this Kayle, right? And that means Kayle should be able to do this.
Okay.
Because if 2 show, like you should be able to take the Baron.
Like at the moment, I have no idea where the enemy team position is. Like they might be recalling, but they already might be running this way. I don't know.
Right, exactly. You don't know, but that's why you should be with your team to get that deep vision. Like Vel'Koz is looking for it, right? But now, I'm pretty sure 2 people do show bot here. Like 2 people gank the Kayle.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys could have been fucking with the Baron the whole time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even pinged it.
Yeah, there were 4 people there, right? As soon as you saw 2, if you were starting that, like you definitely get that Baron, right?
maybe.
Oh yeah, and then this was just like pretty obvious too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were both right.
Yeah,
right,
you
right.
literally just saw him bot. So
I
like
think I just fucking blacked out and I
Yeah.
kind of forgot enemy's position.
Yeah, and then and now because of like all that, right? Because you didn't like properly set up for the correct objective and you weren't like with your team at the right time, like technically you guys should just lose and lose Baron and lose this fucking game. But I guess they lost to Nivea, so like it's okay. But they also like ran it down at this play too. I feel like they probably could have finished. I'm not sure though.
I think it was at like 5k HP when I used Trinket.
Yeah. It's because they didn't have a Nivea, so it was like okay, but again, it was still like a really bad spot for your team to be in. I guess with different champions on the board, it like would make it a huge difference.
Maybe if they didn't have a Senna or something.
Yeah. And then, you know, Rek'Sai just decided to all in by himself on 4 people, which was pretty chill of him to do, especially as the game was free.
Okay, but I can definitely see like where I could make different decisions.
Yeah.
And then change the game that way. Like there was 2 major things, like when I was running top.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing them, and then this last one, like, why am I even mid when I saw Rek'Sai's position bot? But I guess I just wasn't paying attention too much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and like I said, even in the early game where you have like you're dying to ganks that you just shouldn't be dying to because you should know like Rek'Sai is there, right? Like I'll give you one gank where like I didn't think the Rek'Sai would be there either, right? I assumed he was pathing top. Like, but like that was the one where like okay, we confirmed he split the map, and then once that was confirmed, you still died to another gank, right? So like, that's just stuff that you should be thinking about because, like I said, ADC as a role, you don't really have a lot you can be like thinking about or doing. You literally are just farming and like managing your wave, right? So like thinking about the game state is really important. That's like what's gonna separate you from like, you know, just being your average fucking D180 carry or being like a good fucking player, right? Like you should be thinking about like what the state of the game is.
Yeah.
Which also means you should be thinking about what objectives your team should be setting up for, right?
Like for example, when I actually play good, like mechanically and stuff, I don't know if you like have any advice, but I tilt in a different way than most people, because I actually try hard, I focus and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I mess up, right? Like most humans do.
Right.
And then people are gonna be like pointing me out, and I just can't stand that shit, especially when people are writing me that are probably not even watching bot lane at all, but they are drawing the conclusion that I made something really horrible, even though I was trying the whole time. So that I just can't stand, and then I just run it down the whole day because I get so brutal. It's like, what do you think?
Well, that sounds like you should just be muting all sort of deal, right? Like if you're letting your
every
teammates
game, or should I just
every
mute
game,
him?
just mute everybody.
Okay.
Like no, like if you look at how this game played out, you can't tell me a single person on either team is fucking good at this game, right?
Yeah.
Do any of them have anything valuable to tell you? Fuck no, they don't. They're all fucking chip.
That's true, actually.
And you're a fucking 80 carry. You don't have like, it's not like you have to like shot call and dictate a lot, right? Like you can be thinking about the game state and you are like the fucking LeBron James, right? You move the pieces with you, okay? Like they need your damage. They have to move with you in a lot of cases, right? Or you can make the proper decisions.
Who is that guy? Is it like a basketball player or what?
Yeah, it's like a famous sorry, that was a bad analogy, I guess.
No, I mean, I honestly never heard him, but it sounded like a basketball player. Plus, you're American, so.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, fair.
And yeah, I don't know. We're kind of winning.
Yeah, I mean, from this point of the game, it's like, it's kind of whatever. Like, you are just kind of following your team around and kind of like hoping and praying. But I think like I didn't put any more notes beyond like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, That's fine.
But like, I think we can easily like summarize this to what like it actually, you know, like what you actually need to be working on and doing, right?
Yeah.
I'll write that down in some 4 notes. Okay, so like the first one is like think about early jungle pathing. Yeah, and then I put like ping your teammates based on that pathing. And then I would also say like focus heavily on thinking about what objectives your teams need to be setting up to take, right? And then properly making decisions based on that. I can't like give you a general statement. Like the best example I can give is in that game where you like ran up to that fight top when you should have pushed mid, right?
Yep.
That's kind of like that's not like a general rule. It's like hard to make a general rule on that. It's just like using your best like discernment on whether or not what that fight's going to accomplish. So I guess my best advice would be like if a fight's not going to get you an objective, it's probably not worth attending, right? Like you kind of ran up to like salvage a bad play when you could have just like made a really good play, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, and I also don't really like enjoy focusing too much on like micro play. Like I said, I mean, like you could have, like I said earlier, you could have like played way more forward in the lane for on the level 2, like especially in like a heavy poke lane. I mean, you can write that down to like be conscious of the level 2, but that's a pretty fucking basics thing for most people to know, right? Like I don't know if I should have to explain that to you or something.
I think
That's
I
something
just
you
need
should
to
focus
be
on.
playing more
Yeah,
aggressively. Generally,
yeah.
I can play way too back for no reason.
Yeah, and just remember to like base your aggression and decisions off of jungle pathing and stuff, and manipulate your wave based on what objectives your team are trying to take. So, obviously, when your jungle's bot side, you should be like, and obviously he wants to take dragon. That's when you should be shoving your waves in or stacking waves to like make a play, either make a dive or look to take a dragon or get deep vision, right? Like that's what your waves are doing. Like your waves are information, and like they force your opponent to do things. Okay, and especially on Caitlyn, you have control of like a lot of what you can do because she's such like a lane dominant champ.
Yeah, it sucks when your jungler is playing on the opposite side, but I guess I need to respect that fact and just guess I should play more back in those cases.
Right. I mean, you can always just trade waves until you know for a fact that Rek'Sai is not bot or whatever. Like, it's just like if you look at what the rest of the map is doing, it's pretty easy to tell what the enemy jungle is doing, or have a good idea at least, right? And then if you're like using that information properly, then you're not dying to ganks. And I also would probably maybe write down a note to like maybe take some games to focus on map awareness a bit, because it definitely looked like you missed a lot of times where Rek'Sai like clearly showed bot. And a good rule of thumb for that as an AD carry is for like like every time you shoot an auto attack, your auto goes on cooldown or whatever, right? Like you have like a small like half second or whatever window where you're committed to the auto, right?
Yeah.
So during that time, you should just like kind of treat it like looking over your shoulder when like merging lanes in a car or whatever. You should just look at your mini map and just see like, okay, is jungle there, or where's jungle at? Just look like in between like every auto.
Okay, that's a lot of eye movement, but I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I mean it is tough, but that's like what they tell the fucking Chinese player to do. Chinese players to do, like it's pretty good advice. Like you just, and like if not, like at least just like try to heavily pay attention, like write down on your notes, like focus on map awareness, because you definitely are missing some things. And if you're thinking like with like keeping where the jungle pathing is in mind, then you should be thinking like, okay, jungle should be top, and then you should be confirming that information for yourself, right, by looking at the map and seeing, because then you can like be like, all right, jungle's top, I can be aggressive here, I'm gonna shove in the tower, I'm gonna take aggressive trades or whatever, right?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna write that down. Map awareness for sure. I focus more on that.
Yeah, so I think that's probably all I'd have for notes for you right now. I think that's a pretty good starting point. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to ask those.